I won't lie to you. This full moon and the days surrounding it aren't going to be the easiest. But easy isn't always the best thing, right? I don't know about you, but I feel this rush, this heat to do something more with myself and my life, to be better than what I am right now. And a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor, right? Overall, these tarot cards acknowledge the spirit of change, but the exact methodology of enacting that change may not be clear. Sagittarius season is generally one rife with hope and ideas. They're the sign that wants to roam. So we have the sun in Sag with Mars next to it. But this full moon, of course, as full moons are, in the opposite sign of Gemini. They are opposing one another, looking at each other head on. And to add to the tension, there's Saturn and Pisces, squaring both. So we have restriction and limitations and action and change all at the forefront of our minds. We have world events that very much confirm that. But even in our personal lives, everyone we know seems to be hurting. Everyone I've spoken to has been feeling a sense of pressure and doubt and anger and fear about a lot of things. I've spent every day this week crying for a good chunk of time. Have you fared better? Because if you haven't, you're not alone. So don't beat yourself up for feeling it all. If you have felt it all, that is. Regardless of what's on paper, if something's happened to you, things are painful, it just hurts, you know. And to the body, pain is pain. You can't logic the feeling away. The source, sure. But the sensation? A burn is a burn is a burn. But again, that heat isn't a bad thing. Sometimes heat is motivation. And you can see that in the cards. Quite a few wands. Fire energy. And that's motivation. Passion. Will. But containing a fire is no small task. Especially if your environment or community or loved ones aren't quite on the same page as you. Do you feel like you have people in your corner? Because Gemini wants a conversation. But when everyone's feeling blurry about what they want and feel and desire, that turns a conversation into a cacophony. And I know I've been struggling with sharing how I'm feeling these days. But maybe that's just a me thing, yeah? Because I think about how far we've come since the new moon in Gemini in June, which already feels like a million years ago. But yeah, personally, there have been so many changes. And what I've done, how I feel, what I want. Is that true for you? How much has changed for you? And how much do you still crave change? And if it's not change, maybe it's something more, something stirring in you. Because according to these cards, something is new, is begging to be born. That first card at the top, White Numen, it's the spirit of creation. And throughout the spread, there are figures looking out into the distance, looking beyond what's in their immediate vicinity. But the path forward isn't quite clear. The Ace of Swords, the essence of truth and clarity, that seems like it's slipping away. And yet the Page of Pentacles keeps going. So there's a sense that the methods we're accustomed to aren't really available to us anymore. What we've been doing, the things that were previously effective and successful, they aren't quite working the way they used to. But if you have a fire in you that you haven't been able to extinguish, you have to do what you can to keep that flame alive. You have to find ways to keep going, and to keep moving forward towards what it is you want. Even if that way, at least right now, means finding ways just to stay sane. To work with the restrictions placed on us. To trust that persistence and patience will pay off. And that's frustrating, right? Especially with Mars and Sagittarius, you know? All that heat and fire, it wants to burn. And it wants to burn bright. I get it. I want that too. But there is a warning here. We have to temper ourselves. That the growth we seek benefits from sustainable action. If you want my advice, it's about a steady flame, not a wildfire. The Three of Wands and the King of Wands reversed, right next to each other. Supreme sovereignty may not immediately be in your reach, but that doesn't mean there's no path towards it. And like I said at the beginning, it's just that path is probably rougher and more meandering than you were hoping for. And the Knight of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, and Temperance, all reversed. That's another warning. It's a warning to be mindful of your resources. To not push yourself so hard that you don't have the time or energy or money to get you where you want to go. And in the spirit of Gemini and Sagittarius' mutability, that shared curiosity, you may need to get inventive about how you've been using those resources. Both the Four of Pentacles and Temperance ultimately want flow. They speak of balance in an active way. Because being stagnant isn't balance. I think you know that. When you stay still, for too long at least, that just leaves you stuck. So, these cards invite you to channel that spirit of creation and creativity into your current life, to inject small, subtle changes here and there in new ways to create longer lasting and more sustainable changes. And some of those will be easier than others. Some of those will require you to simply disengage where you previously wanted to fight. To be curious rather than condemnatory. To have faith in certain actions, even though they're arduous now, will create ease further down the road. A controlled flame is a steady flame. And while the world, or just your environment, may be incredibly unstable right now, we still have control over our reactions and interactions, for the most part. And I know I'll struggle with this too. But I'm going to try to be selective about my energy this season. To tamp down on the knee-jerk reactions and habits that have gotten me where I am. Because I want something new. And if you're as scared or sad or as frustrated as I am about everything right now, I want something new for you too. Something brighter. Something softer. Something sweeter. You deserve goodness in your life. Not just one good thing, but goodness all around. And you shouldn't break your back trying to get it.